Hello there. We are continuing our series Learn Chess Fundamentals from Paul Morphy, and today we will talk about opening rule number 4. And it says don't move the same piece twice in the opening if you can help it, of course. So why is this so? Why shouldn't you move the same piece twice? Well, the main reason is when you want your attack to succeed, you need to have several conditions satisfied. So first of all, you have to control the center of the board. You have to have a better development than your opponent, because then you will have a more attacking piece than he has pieces in the defense. And also you have to achieve a better king safety, because if your king is not safe, then your opponent can defend just by counter-attacking your king. So the point of this rule is to avoid early attacks. And this can be very tempting, especially for an inexperienced player. Everybody likes to attack. Everybody likes to seize the opportunity to try out some combination. And it can be very hard to resist this temptation when you see a good combination of the board something which looks nice, looks very tempting, looks very dangerous for your opponent. To stop and say, okay, if I'm not 100% sure that this sequence of move is giving me a winning position or a great material advantage, then I will restrain myself and I will just continue developing my pieces. And lots of time people giving this advice often don't follow it, because like I said, it's very tempting to do something and not to wait for the development. And the game I will show you today is played between Alexander Beaufort Meek, also known as Judge Meek, as white, and Paul Morphy as black. This is played in Mobile, Alabama, 1855, and this was a casual game between two chess club members. So I think this game is a great example of what does it mean to attack prematurely, and also to demonstrate this strong temptation to do this, because there are some really cool combinations involved here. So okay, let's start with the game. So Judge Meek plays e4, Morphy responds by e5, so this is usual. White plays knight f3, attacking e5 pawn, and Morphy responds by playing bishop to c6, so defending the attacked pawn. Nothing unusual here. And now white goes for the Scotch, so he plays d4, and now he's renewing the threat on e5. Morphy captures, he takes d4, and this is considered still the best move in this position, so he's just removing one pawn from the center and putting his own pawn in the center. And also this move accomplishes that if white wants to now recapture, he has to move the same piece twice. So this move is still the main line. And now white has two possibilities. So he can recapture the pawn, and this is then called the Scotch game. And the Scotch game is very interesting. I like to play this very much. It was also revived by Kasparov, and it's a very popular opening, in fact. And the other possibility is to play it so-called Scotch Gambit. So to play aggressively, to just play bishop c4 and to neglect this pawn on d4. This Scotch Gambit is also playable. It's still played, but not so much in the long games on a higher level, because it was refuted in the meantime. But it's still a very interesting opening, and I think any lower late player can try it. It's similar like playing King's Gambit or any other Gambit. It can be very attacking with lots of tactical opportunities. So Judge Meek played bishop c4, going for Scotch Gambit. Morphy responded by developing his own piece, so bishop c5, and now Judge Meek goes for this early attack. So you can see that this f7 square looks very weak, and white has several means to attack it, and so with his bishop, with his knight, and also with once the right moves, then the queen can also come, for example, either on f3 or even to h5, and thus joining the attack on this f7 square. So this looks very promising, and white is impatient to start his attack, and he plays knight g5. And now we will see what happens when the attack is premature. The problem in this attack is that white cannot bring his all pieces in the attack. So yes, he can bring queen, maybe he can bring his bishop, but he cannot bring his knight because this c3 square is occupied, and it's not clear how can he bring his rooks into attack. So he doesn't have enough pieces for this attack, as we will see. So Morphy has to defend f7 pawn, and he does it by playing knight h6. Okay, so this is not the best square for the knight. Knight on the rim is dim, but in this case, when you have this strong attack, then well, you have to do what you have to defend it. But on the other hand, this also develops this knight, so it's not the knight is better on h6 than on g8 anyway. And now white goes for this nice combination, which is well known since then. So knight takes f7, temporarily sacrificing the piece. Knight takes f7 back. Bishop takes f7, king takes f7, and now white is piece down. But he has this nice double attack, so queen h5 check. And now, so giving check and attacking this undefended bishop on c5. Black plays g6, and queen takes c5. So this looks very nice for white. So he managed to do this cool combination. The material is now equal. The king, black king cannot castle. It's exposed, and this looks nice. But it's not to the end. And you will see now it's Morphy's turn, and he can just overturn everything because he has more pieces available for his attack. So Morphy plays d6. First of all, of course, he wants to kick away this queen, and second, he's opening his bishop. So now you can see that Morphy's pieces are looking very strong in comparison with Judge Meek's pieces, which look rather cramped here. So they are just sitting on the first rank, and they don't have many good squares to develop. Okay, white moves away his queen, and now Morphy just brings his pieces to the game to attack with threats, forcing moves, and so on, like he usually does. So he plays rook e8, now threatening this pawn. White responds first by checking on b3, so this is some kind of intermediate move. Morphy blocks his check by d5, since this pawn is pinned. He's not afraid to lose this pawn. And now white plays f3, which is a weak move. So he keeps his king in the center, and also he's opening this diagonal for the attack on his queen. So it will be much better in this position just to see the danger. King is in the center, all the pieces are sleeping. So maybe white should just let this pawn go and play castles, and then at least be safe. But okay, he played f3, and now Morphy is looking how to mobilize his pieces and how to roll the attack, and he wants to open the lines for the attack. And in order to do this, he has to deal with this pin. So this d5 pawn is pinned, so he has to deal with this pin, and he plays knight a5, again moving the same piece for the second time and going to the rim, but it's completely justified because there is a very good reason to do so. Now he's attacking the queen, and the queen has to move, and this pawn will be unpinned, and this will unleash the attack. So queen goes to d3. Morphy now opens the center, so d takes c4, f takes c4, and now queen h4 check, exploiting this open diagonal, developing his queen with the forcing move. So white has to deal with this check. He plays g3, and now Morphy develops another piece with check, and he doesn't play, of course, queen takes e4, because that would exchange the queens, and this favors white because white is now under attack, and the attacking player wants to have his queen, of course. So he plays rook takes e4, again with check. Now king has to move away, so king f2, and Morphy now has to retreat his queen, and he doesn't play queen f6, which looks tempting because it's a check, but it doesn't accomplish anything. So in this case, white could play queen to f3 and force the exchange of queens, and black doesn't want to do this. And another thing black is concerned about is to keep his rook and queen coordinated for the attack. So Morphy plays queen to e7, and now you can see that the rook and queen are nicely coordinated, and he has this strong attack over the e file. And now white makes another mistake. He plays knight to d2. So now maybe he thinks that he's attacking his this rook and also developing his knight. But the problem with this move is that there are two problems, in fact. First, it blocks his bishop, so this bishop will not be likely developed anytime soon, and by blocking his bishop, he's of course locking his a1 rook. So this is the first problem, blocking development, and the second problem is this e3 square now becomes available for black's rook, which wasn't before because this bishop was controlling this. So this was a mistake. The alternative, much better, was so in this position he could just play bishop g5, and so developing with a threat, and notice that queen cannot capture this bishop, because then white queen will just capture the rook on e4, and the rook is worth more than a bishop. So after this, for example, black should play something like queen e6, and now knight d2. So now you have developed your remaining pieces, you are making a threat, and this e3 square is still under control. So this would be much better for white. But white instead played, so in this position, white played knight d2. And now Morphy immediately seizes this e3 opportunity, so rook e3, and queen now has to move away. But where? So notice that this e2 square is now what the game is all about. So if white is allowed to deliver check on e2, this is a mating combination. So because he can bring his queen, and then he has his queen, his rook, nothing can stop it. He can also bring this bishop. So white sees now that if he allows a rook to e2 check, that he will lose the game either by checkmate, or he will just have to give all his pieces away to stop the checkmate. So black has to move, but always keeping an eye on this e2 square. And this is in fact a very famous tactical puzzle. You can find it in many tactical books and chess textbooks, because it's very instructive how white has to keep an eye on e2, and they both sides know that e2 is what the game is all about, and so black just plays the moves to move the queen away from guarding e2. So queen goes to b5 here, and now Morphy plays c6. So he wants to move the queen off this diagonal to have c2, of course. Now queen f1, okay, still guarding c2, and now bishop h3. And now if, let's just play this, so if, for example, queen takes h3 here, so there are two possibilities. Of course, the first is rook e2 check, and now if king goes to f3, then queen e3 check, king g4, and h5 check. And the only legal move is to give away the queen. Or after rook e2 check, king can try f1, but then it's just a mate in 2. So rook e1 check, king g2 is the only legal move, and queen e2 is checkmate. So you can see why white cannot allow this e2 square to become available. So after bishop h3, white moves his queen to d1. Now again guarding this c2 square. Okay, so this is a good job of white, but now Morphy has another piece joining the attack. So you can see that in this constellation, these pieces are not enough. So white manages somehow to defend his position and to hold this position, and there is nothing much black can do with only these pieces which are developed. But as Morphy usually does, almost always does, when he is attacking, he's bringing all his pieces into attack. So this piece is not used until now, and he plays rook to f8, and now he can just move the king, and he has everything rolling. And this is exactly what happened. So white blocked this discard check with knight f3 and king e8 now. And you can see there are so many threats from the black side that so this knight is hanging. This check can come if for example this bishop moves or captures. You have this bishop controlling this diagonal, knight can join. So almost every move from black is winning in this position. So there is no way that white can answer all these threats with a bad development, with this rook sitting on a1, this bishop doing nothing, and so on. So in this point at move 21, Judge Meek resigned the game. Okay, I hope you found this game useful, because I think it really is. And always remind yourself, don't do fancy combinations and go to attack unless you are fully developed and you have control of the center and your king is safe. So try to keep this in mind, and I think you will have better games and better score. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel, leave the comment below, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers.